Hi, and welcome to the training video for Contractor Foreman and the expense module. While the expenses are really fairly straightforward and simple, there's a couple of key points here that you really need to make sure you're aware of. Expenses are mainly for things that are not included in the estimate. So if you have a line item in an estimate, and you want to account for the cost. You do not want to pay for it, say, with an expense. You should be using purchase orders or subcontracts and then the related bills to pay those purchase orders and subcontracts. An expense, where we're at here, is mainly for things that were unforeseen, unexpected. Something simple. You wanted to buy the crew lunch on a Friday, and so you wanted to expense that to the job. Or you ran out of gun nails, so you had to run to the supply house and pick up gun nails, and not really in the estimate, but you wanted to expense that cost to the project. So mainly, it's fairly simple, really. To fill these out, project is required, and we can jump over there in a minute and I'll show you how that applies to the project. But we're going to give it the project, just going to give it the total. We're going to pick the vendor, and it's very easily done just by clicking there and choosing the vendor of where you got it. You can add a new vendor here if necessary. An expense name, just something to relate it back to the project and what it actually was. I want to give it a decent expense reason. Now, when you're filling these out in the field, we do have the text capability on the phone, so you can pull up your Contractor Foreman app, tap in this field, hit the little microphone button, and it will convert your talk to text in this field. That makes it a lot easier for people out in the field filling this out. They don't always like to type. An item type, not required, but I highly recommend using your item type. You've got your material, equipment, labor, sub, and other, just like you do everywhere else in Contractor Foreman, because it's going to report now on where you had this unforeseen type expense. Going to cost code it. This is very handy because you can go back to reports in Contractor Foreman and really look and see where some of these expenses are coming from over time. How can you cut down on these miscellaneous expenses? The other one here is add attachments. You can take a photo of the receipt, the invoice as you're leaving the store. Just have your phone app up, snap a picture of it, and it will load it up right down there. Really helps people in accounting out a lot. Of course, the date, a reference number. Again, that's not a required field. It can be used for all kinds of reasons. Mainly, it's an invoice. Maybe it's an invoice number from the store, supply house, etc., where you bought it. Category. Categories, you're going to create these, and these are going to tie in a lot to your QuickBooks if you've tied in Contractor Foreman to QuickBooks. So you're going to create your own category. So I've got materials and additional cost overruns. To add a new one, you just add new. You're just going to type name and press enter, and you can create a new category. Bank account, again, that's going to tie over to QuickBooks. For the accounting functions. And the employee. A lot of people are not aware of this. You can use these for employee reimbursements because maybe in this case I paid for it. And so I selected myself and I put in there. And then in reports, let me pull up the report tab here for you. You can see that I'm in financial reports, and I clicked on expenses, and we bring up our what I call the little parameter box here. So I can run date ranges, etc. But there's the employee. So I can run employee reimbursement report very quick and easy using the report feature in Contractor Foreman. Then lastly, we kind of have a little note deal down here. Just maybe the person that's going to approve this expense or just additional information. We can add a title. We can add an attachment to these notes. These are everywhere in Contractor Foreman in the modules. So just another way to capture more information. And then, of course, you have your custom tab over here. And here's where you can create custom fields. Now, the way you're going to create custom fields is by clicking on your module gear button here. Every module in Contractor Foreman has that gear button. And here's where we can adjust our settings. I'll go ahead and pull it up, show it to you. So here's where we can adjust our settings for our expenses. Got things like your custom data. There's your accounts, module name. You could even change the name of that. Let's say that we want that to say miscellaneous expenses. There we go. Now I just change that and it'll refer to miscellaneous expenses everywhere in Contractor Foreman, including the main menu. So as we scroll down just briefly here, there's our custom fields. Very easy to do. We've got videos on that as well. But if I want to add another customer field, I just click on that. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just, I'll click on, let's say if we want to track equipment on expenses, we can just click on equipment. And there now we've added a field where we can pull down for our equipment. So there's a lot you can do here, and you don't have to go back. It's much easier than going back to the main menu, clicking on settings, looking for where we put all those. They're going to be right there. Here's your make a suggestion. If you think of a great idea for expenses, go ahead and click the red light bulb idea. That's what it's there for. We'd love to hear back from you. So give us a little summary up here of what you're looking for. Give us a good detailed description. This will go into the database. Other people can see your suggestions. We can see your suggestions. We all can vote on them, comment on them, etc. And you can look at it down here as well to get to the main database for Make a Suggestion. This course is the training video to get to the training video for each one of the modules. Going back to the very beginning here, we just have a little dashboard, shows the expenses by month, expenses by type, and we can look at it by this month and last month, or this year and last year. And here's a list of all of our expenses. We can hit the three-dot menu item here. You can email the PDF of that expense. Look at a video, expenses versus bills. This is very handy if you're still not sure on when to use an expense and when to use a bill. Share external link. And then another way to create a new expense is by clicking up here, create a new one. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope that helps and you have a wonderful day. Thank you.